yeah, like I still wanting a perfect picture and all the stuff that doesn't, yeah. And also I saw like a fear for addiction falling away, like it was like something of a fear that keeps it, yeah, that keeps it, well, anyway. Now I just love to rest with you, Isaac.
Very much, huh? So, hi.
Hey, I I don't know if it's shyness, feeling a little bit shy, and in giving a stomach kind of I don't know what it is. I could see I really would love to meet, but then there was this little shyness, and maybe it's something in the stomach. I feel, and then I thought, let's look about what it is.
Yeah, yeah.
I can feel. I can also relate it to life, in to my life in general. That I'm
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
draw back a bit from people. Usually they are too loud for me, and I look at them when they speak and I think, what they speaking about? It's all kind of too much.
Yeah, so what we know is that there's a movement that happens in you that registers as shyness. And so we just, I mean, who knows where it comes from, Saha? We don't know. And something is interested in just being present to it. Not to solve, not to fix, nothing. It's just. You know, the possibility in these meetings is to meet, I would say, beyond intimacy, beyond two. It's just there's an opportunity to explore boundlessness, you could say. And of course, we're not used to it. We haven't been raised like that. To be naked, to be vulnerable, to be real, authentic. And you don't have to do anything for it. I mean, just as we rest, what you could say the things that have played up to now to try to manage start to come up, and we just present. We just
What I notice is that my breathing goes longer and deeper now into the
and it's getting more easy to just to be, yeah? And sweet.
actually I would love to share something. I was dreaming about all of us, and we all sit in a school bus, like an American school bus, and you drove it, and you was be completely naked and full of fun. And we go kind of down, and I was thinking, oh, we can come up again. And then we have been on that retreat place with this beautiful tree and lake, and that had fruits fallen into the water. And Sika was also done. She was so beautiful. And I managed to have some sweet fruit. And the feeling was going with you, with us together, letting you drive the thing. And even if I'm afraid it will lead us to something really sweet and fairy tale like beautiful. And when I was afraid and you drove this big bus, you was just looking and smiling. It's the main feeling I have.
Yeah, it's that's somehow our system interprets it and turns it into pictures, but it's just beautiful. I mean, it's the sweetness, yeah.
It's a sweetness.
Yeah.
And also the sweetness of being having the trust to step into that bus with a naked driver. And yeah, being led to beauty. And I have to say, this tree was amazing, beautiful. Yeah, the main feeling is you bring us to some beautiful place. I don't know how to say that thing, but
I feel it. Yeah, something in you hears the invitation and is enjoying. It's beautiful.
yeah. And is this knowing about silence in a way, about kind of, it's also this moving of kind of stepping back inside, or I don't know how to say, and just be there and enjoy what is. It is easier if it's beautiful still than when everything is kind of in alert.
You know, it's interesting to try and find words, in the sense that once we recognize that our nature is this awareness in which everything appears, then the inside and outside also start, they stop being reference points in a certain way, because it's just here.
Yeah.
Where's inside and outside is? It's just somehow there's not this attachment to the interpretation of what's on the screen. It's just like, okay, it's like there's experience and it gets interpreted and it seems a certain way, but there's something untouched.
Yeah, and this makes even this untouchedness makes it easier for in the beauty and in the difficult.
Exactly. And it's so funny because one moment it can seem difficult and the next moment we're laughing. So it's like, it's never the circumstance. It's never, you could say it all comes down to a habit of interpretation that makes it appear one way or another. Even beauty is an interpretation, It's just like, then whatever that is, that's beyond all that we can't say.
Now I again have this feeling of cuddling with you, laying my head here on your chest. And
Sure.
I mean, me, I don't know this, but it's also bodily feeling in the body as well.
Yeah, I understand.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much
for being in my life, or everyone. Oh.
Satya.
Hello, Isaac. So glad to talk again with you after so many years again.
Welcome.
Yeah. I don't know where to begin talking about this, but I try. I can sense this sense of just being here, this sense of just being, and whatever this is. But my issues revolving around a lot of anxiety around my attention gets totally sucked into this fear of heart, which I have.
Okay.
So it's
Yeah.
it's very overwhelming because I had a stent put 6 years ago, and anytime there's a sensation on the left-hand side of the chest, the whole system goes into panic and anxiety.
Yeah. Yeah. Understand.
I, I don't know how to deal with it.
Yeah.
I know that the sense of being here is always here, but it's a kind of a death, kind of the interpretation is death, basically. If you don't do something
Yeah.
about it, then you're gonna die.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then I
So-
end up calling the ambulance. They come and they do the EKG and blood pressure, and then the system relaxes again. And so
Yeah. Yeah. I understand.
it's like I don't want to live. Can't imagine myself living like living like this.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. And there are moments when there's a lot of distance I can have, but something just sucks goes into it, and then there's anxiety.
Hmm.
And I was with a psychiatrist, and my diagnosis: severe anxiety and moderate depression, something like that.
Mhm. Yeah.
And so this anxiety, and when I look back, I had this anxiety before the heart attack as a child. There was this pattern of anxiety was there. Now I'm recognizing it, that this anxiety has been there.
Mhm.
And now the mind is somehow using the heart, because it's a kind of using this as a reason to
Mhm.
amplify this anxiety more.
Okay. So let's take a moment and just whatever this anxiety is, for once we're not going to run from it.
Yeah.
We just whatever it is, let's just be present with it. Welcome it.
Okay.
Yeah. You can see it's not something you're doing, because if it was up to you, it wouldn't be happening.
Yeah.
So something is just coming, yeah. And so let's just take a moment and we just, yeah, so then the anxiety, okay. And so we just, okay, there's this a sensation.
Yeah.
And just to see if we can track just what goes on. So we're talking about just the anxiety, not the what it's about, but the anxiety itself.
Hmm.
Yeah. So what is it? Where is it? Comes by itself, that's clear. You're not doing it, it doesn't mean anything about you.
Yeah.
It's a phenomenon, yeah?
Yeah.
Something
Absolutely.
happens.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And all we're doing is we're just taking a moment. Okay, what is this? Something happens and chemicals start getting produced in the body, which have a whole cascade, a whole thing. Once they start, then a whole bunch of things happen in the body just from those chemicals.
Yep.
So we're just slowing it down. Okay. Not trying to change it, not trying to fix it, not trying to get rid of it. We just, yeah, exploring it. Curious.
Yeah.
So there's a sensation,
Yes.
and then with that sensation, like it goes very quickly into thinking.
Yeah.
Like I need to do something. What is this? Like, I need to take care.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. And the thinking is trying to help, but what it does is it increases the intensity
Yeah.
of the sensation. It's not the enemy, it's not wrong, it's not bad, it's trying to help. But we just slowing it down and seeing, does it actually help?
And the thinking is going also by itself. I'm not really doing it.
No, you're not doing it, yeah. So, but now we notice the thinking coming and we can see it wants to help. And now all we're doing is we're discerning and seeing, does it actually help? Because up to now, the thinking is kicked in and
Yeah.
it's something that believes that it does help.
Right.
So now we're just questioning. That thinking comes in, it's trying to help.
There's a lot of crying happening.
That's okay. That's okay. That's okay.
My system is so overwhelmed by this.
Yeah, I understand, of course. It's like it's really, it's intense and it's catching your attention to the extent where, as you said, you don't want to live like this. So good, Lynn. So
Yeah. Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
at this moment, how is it? Just now.
Yeah.
Because we haven't tried to change anything, we haven't tried to fix anything.
No.
So we're just seeing, we just hear what's happening in this moment. Is it quieter? Is it more activated?
It's like there's there can be space for it to exist, and I'm also existing with it. But
Fantastic.
yeah.
Fantastic. Nice description.
Yeah, I'm existing with it, but I let it live here.
Yes, yes. And at this moment, are you a victim of it? At this moment, just this moment.
No, I'm not.
No, at this moment, you're not a victim of it.
No.
Cool, that's cool. Yeah.
Not a victim of
We
it.
don't know what will come in the future, but with this moment, not. Yeah, cool.
No. Yeah. I think it's not only this anxiety with the heart, there's a whole circumstances which I'm in right now, very isolated, where I'm living, not much. So it's all coming like with a whole big storm right now. So this is
Yeah,
what's
understand.
coming out of as tears out. This is what is going on. And yeah. 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 Yeah, there's a space really. It's very nice in this looking the way you pointed out. It's I can live with it, not trying to get rid of it.
Yeah, yeah, beautiful. See, it's interesting because, like our thinking comes and it wants to say, okay, like it's a fear of dying.
Yeah.
But we don't even know what dying is, It's like that's an interpretation. We don't know.
Yeah.
All you know is that the system, the thought comes and then it starts to loop and really spin like crazy. And then that, of course, then the chemicals are really running through the whole system and it feels overwhelming. Yeah. And it goes so quickly from zero, like so quick, faster than the Ferrari, 0 to 100, 200 kilometers an hour in one moment. And then, like it comes with a whole bunch of other things. Then there must be something wrong with me, or there must be something, like all that stuff. And that's all just, it's just part of that once those chemicals get released, that other stuff comes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm trying to, as talking with you as I talk, I'm trying to understand, not just intellectually, like, so there's the two parts there, the sensation and the interpretations of the sensation that makes it,
Yes.
that
Yes.
makes
And
the
then,
whole
then,
merry-go-round.
yes, and then the thinking is really trying to help, but it goes into overdrive.
Yeah,
And then the thinking itself produces chemicals. It's like, so the system gets flooded with existential chemicals, basically adrenaline.
yeah,
And it feels absolutely urgent, like
yeah.
have to take action right
It's
now.
kind of a
Yeah,
life and death kind of a.
life and death type of thing, and yet he's not dying. It's like
No,
it's all produced through this vortex, this combination of sensations, interpretation, and thinking.
Yeah.
Just yeah.
Yeah.
And we never know when the last breath is coming. We don't know. We go to sleep every night.
yeah,
Everything disappears and we enjoy it. We don't know if we're going to wake up.
Yeah.
We never know.
just a fact. Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah. And so it's just, yeah. But if you start thinking, am I going to wake up? Then you won't go to sleep.
That's a good one.
One thought,
Yeah, it's one thought. Yeah, thank you, Isaac. Really,
You're welcome. Yeah.
I just wanted to do this, just to allow it to be with it instead of seeing it as an enemy and I have to get rid of it. Because
Who knows what layer you're touching, Satyam? We don't know where this comes from, whether it's ancestral or whether it's clearly trauma-based, I would say. And
Yeah.
we don't know we just don't know. With trauma, we carry trauma from generations back.
Yeah.
And then it feels very personal. And then, like I said, there's a sensation, an interpretation, the thinking kicks in, and it just becomes like a whirlwind. Then, so.
And there's some recognition, like as a very little child, there was, as far as I remember, was a lot of fear looking at blood. I would freak out. And
that's why I say we don't know.
Yeah, all
this
stuff.
If you look at the history of humankind, we have not been kind to each other. We're a very funny species.
Yeah.
So what our ancestors have gone through, who knows? There's so much that's happened. Oftentimes, there's no even memory to it. It's just we notice, the system goes crazy with certain information that it interprets, and so and like this we can slow it down. We can see it can go from. That's also what's so amazing. It can go from this huge vortex to quietness in a few minutes.
In a few minutes, absolutely.
That's what's amazing. I mean, then you go, wow, how real can it be? And in fact, it could go from absolutely freaked out to calm in a few seconds, and can't be very real. Yeah.
Also, I'm interested, Isaac, when I've listened to you for throughout these years, and they have made sense to me. You talk about the nervous system recognizing when the nervous system, like I'm now talking with you, and something recognizes here that there's that that you are sitting in with your being, you're settled there, and something is this system is resonating. And so and I can sense that, and that's and so, but
so one way to speak about that, Satyam, you know, if our parents, and for most of us, our parents had undigested trauma, they didn't know peace.
No.
There was love, and they did their best, but if they didn't have the information of that all is well, it's not dependent on circumstance, it's not dependent on living or dying, it's not dependent on anything. They could not have passed it on to you.
Yeah.
So one way of saying it is your system never got the information about that quietness. It's untouched.
Yeah.
And so once you touch it and you experience it directly, like now,
yeah,
your system is getting that information, and it's not, we could say it's coming from me, but it's not, it's its own. It's just recognizing it, you know, it's like that. So it's not dependent on me. It's recognizing what's always here in a certain way. You could say it like that. Yeah.
And I really see that all my really life, this system has really lived on a kind of an edge.
Yeah.
There's
I
always
think many people can relate to that, Satyam.
I've
Sure,
lived like fucking survival mode.
Yeah. Yeah. I understand.
There's someone coming after me. I've lived almost like in a rush hour.
Yeah.
Something is now seeing that for the first time. I'm kind of seeing, oh my God, it's 50 years in this body, you know, I've been living like this.
Yeah. And you can see it has nothing to do with you. It's just like old information that's never become conscious. That's all.
Absolutely.
And that once there's that recognition of that space, of that peace, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Everything that has not been integrated must come up to be seen.
Wow.
Yeah, and you know, that's a part that a lot of times doesn't get talked about that much.
No. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But it is just like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And you talk also about resourcing. I that word really have rang a lot of bell in me. Resourcing, like looking at your photo or looking at Papaji's photo, you know, just through the image. The system is recognizing, okay, I'm here, you know.
Yeah.
Something like that. I'm just trying to put some words.
Yeah, no, I get it. It's fine.
Yeah.
You know, to me, in this love affair that picks us up, and then as you could say the old information, the undigested information starts coming up, it is good to have resources, because it can come up hard and heavy at times, man, I tell you.
Yeah.
That's from direct experience. But and what I can, in my experience, as we gently explore and keep, I mean, you know, two things. One is it's not, that exploration is not for ourselves. That exploration is the recognition that whatever this is that's coming up, it's coming up in consciousness. It's not personal to anyone.
Yeah.
It's just information in the field, you could say. And as, you know, like as this love affair picks us up and something is, I could say, in love with peace and just wants to keep exploring, it benefits all beings. So it's actually, you know, becomes, I would say, true service. If it's taken from the perspective, oh, this means something about me, and I have to deal with it for my own benefit, that's an error.
Yeah.
Because then, of course, there's a wanting to change and fix and all the stuff that comes. I mean, it's immediately there from that perspective.
Yeah.
But you never asked for this. You start recognizing, wait, somehow this has been playing my whole life. Who knows, you know, what ancestry I'm carrying, where this comes from. I certainly can relate to what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And I don't think I think in some sense we all know it.
Yeah.
And if you read about other quite famous people that have been in this love affair, they talk about the dark night of the soul.
Yeah.
Almost always. But we've been told, no, yeah, you just do this and you'll be blissful forever. And but it's not like it's not like that.
No, it's not.
Yeah. So it's just part of this love affair. So good to
Yeah.
have good company. Good to
Mm.
see we're not alone in this.
Yeah, that's so
Yeah.
important. Papaji, I watched so many videos. He never, as far as I remember, he never talked about this stuff. He maybe hinted few times that stuff will come up, but he never went into details with it.
Yeah.
He said that everything will come up.
Yeah.
I've heard him say that.
You see, there's a recognition that what comes up, like we've just, it went from activation to peace pretty quickly. And so
Yeah.
we can see that activation actually is not related to the current moment. It's old information. Another way of saying is that it's not real. The difficulty is that when it's happening, if someone says to you it's not real, it doesn't, you'll tell them to fuck off, it's like, yeah. So, I love, there's a story from Ramana where there was a woman and a whole family, her husband and children had been wiped out in an accident. And she was inconsolable. She could not find peace. She was just devastated. And she went around Tiru to all the swamis, to everyone, and they said, it's karma, you'll see them again. And nothing helped her. She was, her system was just devastated. Finally, she came to Ramana. And when she met Ramana, he just wept with her. I think from the story it went, he wept with her for over half an hour. He just wept with her. And when it was done, that devastation was gone. He never gave her any advice. He just met her right where she was. So that's the power, I would say, of just unconditional presence. It's not trying to fix anything. It's not trying to change anything. It's not trying to give clearer advice or anything, it's just present. He didn't say it's not real.
No.
Afterwards, once it had quietened down, she could say, oh, that wasn't real. But before then,
But yeah, as you said, when it kicks in, then this presence is somehow overlooked.
For sure, because look,
somehow,
that's the nature of trauma. When we touch an old trauma vortex, it feels in this moment as if our existence is threatened.
Yeah.
But we look, no, there's no actual real threat here. In your case, you don't know because it could be your heart is going to stop. You don't know. So it's like, but then they come and check you and they say, everything's okay. And you go, and something relaxes again.
Yeah. Now I can laugh at it because now
of course,
I'm looking from a distance, something like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, I'm still like everything is okay forever, something like that.
Yeah.
That's the interpretation, that everything is okay forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, thank you, Isaac. It's
You're
just
welcome.
I have no
Come,
words.
you know, when you're welcome to these meetings, or they hear and they a resource for people if that. If
Yeah,
it's a
I didn't know.
resource
I
for
didn't know
you.
how to get into these meetings. So then I left a message for you, and then someone, Sylvia, a woman called Sylvia, replied,
Yeah,
"Go to
beautiful.
this."
Yeah,
Then
cool.
I was just here today. I've looked at my phone. I said, "When are the meetings?" I said, "Tuesday." I said, "Today is Tuesday. What time?" 10. It's 10. So there we go. I'm here.
There we go.
It went so
Beautiful.
fast. So I'm so grateful for this. So beautiful.
Yeah.
Love you,
Beautiful.
Isaac.
Yeah, love and peace. And I don't know if you're on the phone, so I don't know if you can go to gallery view, but I'm sure if we ask if anybody can recognize this in themselves and if anyone got any value from it, we can just see.
Yeah,
See.
I would love that.
Okay,
Wow.
so you can
Yeah.
see many
I
people
could,
have their hands raised.
yeah, I could use the gallery view here. Yeah, I can now. Yeah, a lot of people. Wow.
Yeah,
Wow. Thank you. Wow,
yeah, cool.
that's amazing. Wow. So I'm not the only one.
Yeah,
Thank you all. Thank you all for supporting this.
so welcome. Hi, Geha.
Hi, Isaac. My whole system is very, very activated and I'm feeling really grateful.
Mm,
It was such a beautiful experience to watch for the first time, really see what happens in my body when the anxiety shows.
mm.
I've never experienced so profoundly as that conversation you were having,
Yeah,
even though I know it here.
yeah, no, but it's yeah, you know, it's like we can know something, and then how does it come into the body? You know, it's like
Yeah, and it's really here. And sweating palms and sweating feet, which I've never experienced before. And a sense of relief.
yeah, beautiful.
It relates so deeply. Ah, just recognizing how much, I don't know how else to express it, but how much control it's taken to, yeah, to keep it together. It's just
Yeah.
formidable. It's formidable, actually.
Yeah, yeah. All going on unconsciously without realizing.
Yep.
It becomes a habit, and it's just playing in the background.
Yep.
You don't even know it yet.
And just to bring it here and have it held and be seen as because it only really works for me with another person, you know, with
No, I get it. I get it. Yeah.
with
There's a beautiful releasing happening in your body, just to notice it. It knows
Yeah.
what to do. You don't have to do anything.
Yeah. And just to let myself stay and not run away, just getting easier.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Not feeling that it's taking up too much space.
No. And when I'm stuck in that space, I keep remembering the beloved, but I can't reach it. I get it. I understand.
Yeah.
This moment.
Yes. Beautifully held.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what might be interesting to look at, when that activation happens, to me it feels like it's a very young organization that never had a caregiver that was capable of holding it.
Yeah.
And so it never learned how to hold itself, just never learned it. But it's in the process now. It wants to.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And so, you know, that I see in spiritual circles, there's a lot of times this idea that you have to do it by yourself, not recognizing that there is no one else. You know, it's like this funny John Wayne kind of approach to spirituality that has nothing to do with it. It's like we rest together. It's easy. It's beautiful. I'm an expression of you. You know, there is no one else. It's just this, and we're walking each other home, however you want to speak it. You know, it's just like.
And after all these years with you, like, 26 or something, it's just so interesting. I've been seeing this medical medium because the body is really struggling with some kind of manifestation in the throat. And I've been seeing this medical medium who's quite astounding. And he put some words to it. He said he's got a gift where he can speak to your cells. He can look into your body. And he said your adipose, which is your fatty tissue, is screaming to be seen and to be seen and to be touched. And all of a sudden, my whole journey with men and sexuality, which is huge and amazing experiences, but also, the opposites, everything just was like, oh, that's why. I don't have to, it was a release of the personal and recognizing that incredible need that this organism found a way to try and get that touch.
So intelligent, huh?
Amazing, yeah. Yeah. And now I'm aware of the playfulness that has always been here that enabled me, that enabled something incredible to be seen along the way. Because right now I can feel the wonder with you. Oh. And of course, I want to be there all the time.
You know, to get a taste and to know that it's possible is such a gift. And then, you know, it's like not to make it a goal, not to make it somewhere to get to. Those are all, you know, could say get in the way.
Yes.
Just the recognition that it's actually here, and all that happens is our attention focuses in the funny way that doesn't see it.
Yeah, and because I've had misophonia all my life, which is just a label that helped me understand why in social situations since childhood, I've always struggled with people clicking pens and doing repetitive noise sounds. That's caused an incredible amount of isolation in my life. But, and it seems to sort of the same dynamics happening. And I know, like you were sharing with Satyen, that to be able to step back from it when it's activated, but it's really hard when you're alone to extract sometimes, like you say, when all those things are
So
running.
in the past, it's been hard.
Yeah.
Let's not project it into the future. We could say it's been, because we have no idea, you know, what comes from this, and it might be hard again. We don't know.
Yeah.
But you know that you can reach out, and you've had a direct experience now, and it does change something. So let's see.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, for reminding me. Yeah. Thank you, Isaac. Thank you so much.
Beauty. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody.
Judith.
Hi, Isaac.
Hey, Judith.
Beautiful subject, anxiety. Know it well. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Ah, Martin. Hi, Martin.
Hi, Isaac. I would like to rest with you.
You're most welcome. As we rest together, how do you sense your energetic body? What happens in it? When we're just resting, not doing anything.
Right now, there are two sensations. One is this feeling just to get open, wider and wider.
Wider and wider, yeah.
This is very nice. And then there is, I also feel one, it's a little bit contracting. Probably the system trying to do good or something like that.
Okay, yeah. So good to notice that and just to see it. It's not necessary. You don't have to do anything. That widening and that recognizing that it doesn't require effort.
Yes.
It's just, yeah.
I'm trying to tell like a mantra, don't try anything, don't do anything.
It's okay.
Just let go, just let it be.
Puffy had this image. He said, you know, when you get on an airplane and you take off and you're in the hands of the pilot, well, it doesn't matter if you walk backwards and forwards on the plane, you're not going to get there any faster. Yeah, so you can sit back and just relax. Once you trust the pilot is a good pilot, you can just sit, enjoy whatever. Yeah. It's a nice image for me.
Kind of feel this deepening, this like it feels like sinking in the moment, like falling in the moment. Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you, Isaac. Thanks a lot.
Okay.
Hello. Okay, maybe I'll just move over here so you can see me.
Okay. Yeah. Right.
That's better, right? Yeah.
Yes, definitely. Thanks.
Just some very, it feels like ancient activation going on.
Really beautiful that it's starting to show itself. You know? I mean, in my feeling, we all carry so much. It's beautiful when it starts to come into view in a way.
Yeah. Yeah, there's this weird, it's come up a few times before, like memories around my grandfather.
Oh,
And I had a dream last night that I've actually had before, where we were cleaning out his apartment after he died, which I never actually did, just in the dream. And this time there was this, I was going to go into his room, his like work space. And there was just like a bookshelf there, and everybody around me said that, no, there's no room there. That room doesn't exist, And there was this, and it's related to this feel like, oh yeah, I know that there is a room there. And there is this kind of, I don't know, just kind of family secret. Something happened that nobody wants to even touch,
yeah. I mean, that's so common in every lineage.
Yeah.
You know, it's like that. We don't really need to know what it is, just that, that, yeah.
No, I don't think even anyone alive knows what it, what that
is, yeah.
just as a kid, I picked something up that has been there somehow. Yeah. so much confusion in my system. I feel
What
like
makes sense.
feels like
See if you
Sorry?
can describe.
I feel like my left side is just
I
sort of.
lost sound with you there. I
Oh.
don't know what's happening.
Can you not hear me?
No, I do. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I feel like my left side is collapsed, just like numbed out, and my right side is very angry.
Oh well. Okay.
So and the brain is really confused. Like what? Like why is this happening? I have no idea. And should I be like act out or just
Well,
stay, quiet? And yeah.
are you right-handed?
What's that?
Are you right-handed?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I'm sure you know in some systems, the left side is the emotional side, the right side is the will side.
Yeah.
So, so who knows what you're touching?
Yeah.
Is that changing a little bit in your system? What you were speaking about before?
Yeah. There's more activation on my left now.
Okay.
Like I keep seeing images of my grandparents. I feel like it's actually this is kind of their energy.
Well, all right.
So there's that confusion also. Like why is it in me? Like yeah.
I don't know if why is a good question.
No, probably not. It's more on old. I mean, even as a kid, I would feel this and like not understand,
Yeah. It's like it seems to me in a way that as more of the undigested information integrates, it like our consciousness opens into other spaces or dimensions or whatever you want to call it, and so it's just part of the unfoldment.
Yeah. A lot of tension in my neck around this.
Gently, gently, it's revealing there.
Yeah.
Someone was waiting in the dark, but Evangelia. Hi, Evangelia.
Hello, Isaac. I cannot see you yet.
I don't know why.
Now I can.
I see. Okay.
It's a lot of anxiety as well. So I just like to rest with you a little bit.
Well, pleasure. No, how is it now?
Thank you.
Good.
much better.
Good.
Thank you so much.
So welcome. Thank you.
Isaac,
Mm-hmm.
Satyam again.
Satyam, good.
Yeah, I want to say something.
Sure.
Um, I've noticed that this awareness, which is always the case, but the habit is whatever arises in the form of thoughts, feelings. There's a sense that when the attention goes to these objects of whatever the object is, there's a sense that I lose the awareness or some sort of.
It's a beautiful noticing, Satyam. You know, it's like there's awareness here, and I'd say the habit in most expressions of life that we call people is to focus on the content of awareness.
Yeah.
And so something is now recognizing that in you. And it's like, okay, you know, it's like one way to speak it. If we look, this moment is perceived through the senses.
Yeah.
So and the senses are receiving information. That's it. Different wavelengths of color, of sound, of temperature. It's information, yeah? But usually that information is always interpreted through our conditioning and through the trauma.
Yeah.
And then we end up with the perception. Now that perception will include like emotions, you know, which are basically movements away from the sensations. And in those interpretations, we have a sense of this moment that we believe is real, but because it's an interpretation, it's really a waking dream.
Yeah.
And the responses that happen are usually to the interpretation.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Yeah. So, you know, like, you know, you feel a sensation and then something goes, oh shit, I might die. That's the interpretation. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
And then the response happens to that. So, you know, it's like as we keep exploring this, there's this capacity to just rest. That's the space, and you notice what's coming on the screen, but it doesn't bite, it doesn't get so involved. It's like if you're watching a movie and you see like a character in the movie and there's someone creeping up behind him, you usually don't scream at the screen, watch out behind you, you know, it's like, because you know it's a movie. It's like, it's kind of like that. You're watching this movie playing
Mm,
It's yeah, this character called Satyam, and there's other characters in the movie.
yeah.
that-
That's right. And notice when their attention rests in this, then there's a very pleasant sense feeling in the body.
Absolutely.
There's a
Absolutely.
there's a pleasantness to it as an experience. But
Yes.
then when the attention goes out, the habit I've noticed, that I think it was that has stayed with me for so many years. I'm not missing words. The habit to measure awareness within experience,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because the pleasantness, if it's not
Mm.
felt, then the interpretation is you're not aware.
Yeah, yeah. And that's not accurate.
Yeah, yeah. I just so
Yeah.
could you? Yeah.
Yeah, you know, like trying to measure a TV by the program that's on the TV.
Right.
The program on the screen means nothing about the TV.
No. Yeah. Absolutely. Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's a good one. Yeah.
Or the reflection in the mirror doesn't mean anything about the mirror. It just means the mirror is working.
Mm. Yeah. Thank you.
Beauty. Darshana. Darshana, is it? Am I pronouncing it correctly?
Yeah,
Darshana.
that,
Darshana.
yes, yeah. Hello.
Hi. Sounds like an Australian accent, and it looks like.
Yes. And some Australian bush.
I can see. And by the light in the background, you must be on the other side of Australia to me.
Yes, in Perth.
In Perth. Oh, cool. Out in the country.
Just in the hills behind Midland, if you're familiar with that area.
Not really. Maybe. I've cruised around there a bit, but I didn't pay that much attention. Anyway, welcome.
Thank you. I was curious, is this experience of witnessing, is that your experience in every moment where there's no involvement with the mind's content?
So it's a beautiful question. So let's just take it slowly with it, because at this moment there's experiencing happening, and there's a noticing of experiencing, yeah?
Yeah.
That you're calling witnessing. So implied in witnessing is that there's somehow a witness. So let's just see. You see if you can find the actual witnessing. All you can notice is that there's a noticing of experience, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. And can you find a witness or a noticer? Or does that just happen by itself without there being someone? Are we exploring? Yeah, there's no right answer or wrong answer. Yeah, we're just looking. It's a beautiful question. We're here now, and the eyes are seeing color, and then somehow something makes sense of it, you could say, based on like learning. You could say that is accumulated over a lifetime. So we see something like, oh, that's a gecko, that's a gum tree, that's a
Yeah.
like I could say, okay, you must be you're in Australia on the other side, like that. So
It's like I senses there's lots of birds making noise, and I can feel that they're on my skin, but
Yeah.
I don't know if I can find a witnesser.
Yeah. It's just like when we come out of deep sleep and the senses wake up, experience starts to happen. In deep sleep, there is no experience. So there's just nothing. Okay, no time, no space, no me. And then, what we call becoming conscious or waking, coming into waking state happens. And then in that, as that transition happens, it's like, where am I? What's going on in my life? What I want to do today? What's the context? Yeah, what's going on? Those kind of memory, you could call it like that, yeah, kicks in. And then we, oh yeah, here I am, and this is my name, this is what's going on. Yeah, it's a Monday or it's a Tuesday or something, or some referencing. And then within that whole, I would say, automatic kind of locating ourselves in time and space that goes on, there's some sense of me that comes just from that activity. If that activity stops or slows down, it's gone, then it's just nothing. It is just presence, right?
Yeah.
But that activity is so familiar. We're so used to it. It's like, that's, you could say that's what gives us a reference point, so to speak. Some sense of me, some sense of witnessing. But, like some. So if I ask you the question, do we really know what's going on in this moment? We don't have a clue, yeah?
No.
Not with our bodies, not what's going on in the whole world. We can have ideas, okay, look, like this, but it's just so big, it's so vast, and there's a whole damn universe, and then there's, galaxies upon galaxies upon galaxies, and we kind of we here, and then there's this trying to make sense of it in some way, yeah? But if we really look deeply, we don't know what's going on. So what happens if we recognize we don't know and we don't need to know? It's just a mystery, you could say.
Yeah.
Because part of the wanting to know what's going on is to have some sense of controlling what's going on. But, John Lennon had such a beautiful poetic way of describing, like life is what happens to you while you're busy making other plans, right? So we are trying to steer the ship, but it's, it's like those kids at the fair, they're on these rides with steering wheels, and they love turning the steering wheels, but they're not attached to anything. And we kind of like that, thinking that there's a me that's kind of directing things, but in actuality, when we look a little closer, we don't know what's happening. There's just this space in which everything is appearing, and it's like there's a way of receiving the sensations of this moment. To be poetic, to say like receiving it as the beloved, like, oh wow. And there's a way of receiving it like, no, this isn't what I signed up for. I want a different experience. Right? So, you know, I like to joke with words. I say, this moment is as God as it gets. It doesn't get more God than this. This is it. Yeah. So, and somehow, you know, like we get this idea of, if I get enlightened, or if I get the right teacher or the right partner or the right something, then I'll be happy. But it's actually all bogus. It's made up. It's not, doesn't have to do with anything. Yeah. So we just here, and now, could say, there's been conditioning. So that this moment is usually interpreted through what our caregivers told us was important, or how we're supposed to be, or what's good or what's bad, or all that stuff, right? That, you know, at some point that starts to be questioned. It's like, well, we're just here. And all that's left in this, is it possible to just receive this moment beautifully? So right now, what you call me, you see something, you hear a tone of voice, you sense something energetically, and all of that is appearing in awareness, in you, right? It's not separate from you in any way. And then just sensing how these systems meet each other. Just what do you sense, or what do you feel?
Um,
And there's no right way or wrong way to that. You're just talking about what you sense and know the sense. So you can't get it wrong.
yeah, so I'm sensing still the sounds around me, and also the grief that is coming to the surface.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at times I'm sensing the expansion of the presence.
Yeah. So grief is an interesting one, yeah?
Yeah.
What do you notice? What does a thought come in just before the grief, or what is grief?
I like sadness, like loss.
It's a sense of loss, yeah. So all we have is this moment. So to have a sense of loss, there has to be some comparing this moment with another moment. Like, so, you have a sense what the loss is about?
I don't know, because when you were speaking about the beloved,
Yeah.
that made me sad.
Okay.
But I don't,
Sadness came up, yeah.
yeah, it's like I recognize a truth in what you're saying about no moment being more or less God than another moment,
Yeah.
but not my experience in every moment.
Yeah.
I don't know why that makes me sad.
Yeah, I mean, you know, somehow you fall in love with something, with truth, with love, with peace, whatever you want to call it. in the way to me, it seems like that sadness is a kind of a longing.
Yeah.
And
What to do with
just
to
feeling
just
that
let
longing, just sense what the longing is for.
it's like a longing for to be free
Yeah, you could say longing for the beloved or longing to be free.
and love.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
longing as a servant of love.
Yeah. And just really honoring that longing, and just feeling it fully.
I've just realized you can't. You can no longer see me.
No,
Light
still,
is-
I feel you, but it's okay if you have a light that you can flip on.
Yeah, I'll just tip the switch.
Yeah, cool. And I see you better than now. Sure. So when you honor that longing and you're just present to it, describe it.
I didn't quite hear what you said. You said honor it and
Yeah, and then just really honoring it, that longing. And describe that longing.
it's an interesting question. I have never thought to describe the longing.
Yeah, beauty.
It's like there feels like more of an expansion right now.
Yeah, interesting, huh?
I don't feel so in touch with grief. It's like a lightness.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the doorway, that longing. It's beauty. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's so, the peace is so beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's so real.
You just feel the souls of your body responding to that peace and the beauty. Where did you get that name?
From a teacher that I still Vishrant.
Okay.
Yeah. So I see Vishrant sometimes, but I was one of his full-time students
Okay.
time ago.
Yeah. What was your name before?
Crystal.
Crystal. Oh, okay. So your parents were hippies?
Au contraire. Not quite.
Not quite. Crystal. It's a beautiful name. Yeah. As is Darshana.
Yeah, there's just like some fear, I think, as well, that has come up, and I'm just sensing how to be with that in a way that doesn't pull me away from expansion or
Yeah, you know, you look at it, fear comes up. What is it? It's only when it moves into wanting to change it or fix it or get rid of it that it gets any energy. Oh, it's just a movement. It has no juice. You don't have to give it juice.
yeah.
Just rest. Yeah, it comes, it'll go. Good to meet you, Darshan. I'm aware that we've come to the end of our time. And so you're welcome to come another time and we can look more. Happy to play and explore.
Really appreciate your time. Thank you.
Yeah. Love, peace, beauty. Andrea, thank you for hosting. Thank you, beloveds, for being here. Yeah.